start today.
Yeah. Hey guys, Dane and Nate here with Made to Move. We're gonna go through our gym bags and pull things out, talk about why we might have them in there, what they do or don't do.
Yep.
Yeah, just see if we have anything interesting there. It's been a while since I cleaned it out, so come on this journey with us.
Just be happy that you don't have to smell it. So yeah, first thing on my bag is the knee sleeves. I actually don't even really wear these anymore. I never found that I got much benefit from them. I know that when I used to wear them all the time, people would ask me, they talked about how they heard that they were good for increasing circulation or increasing temperature within the knee or whatever, and I always told them that it basically just feels good. That's why I wear them. I don't know that there's any research to support, just like they were saying, I don't know if there's any research to support increased blood flow or anything like that. It's not going to create any safety measures for your knee. At the very most, it might help if it's thick enough, help with a rebounding out of the bottom of a deep squat.
Yeah.
But
so if anything, it probably decreases blood flow because it's crunching down on your knee a little bit, but probably not enough to really make a difference, except maybe into the calf. But basically, your joints like being hugged on when everybody likes hugs.
Everybody
right?
likes
and
hugs.
So you hug on a joint, you hug on a joint with a knee sleeve, elbow sleeve, whatever, and it feels good. And so your brain might be able to use your muscles a little bit harder with that. So it might increase motor unit recruitment just a little bit. Also with neoprene knee sleeves, there may be some benefit, and probably not with Dane's a whole lot because they're kind of built not to do that, and they're gnarly, man.
Yeah, they're pretty old and beat up.
Wow,
I might as well just throw them away.
But when you squat, you get some buckling at the back of it, some bunching up of the neoprene fabric, and that might help you bounce out of the hole just a little bit. They probably have to be thicker than this for that to.
Yeah, I think they measure in millimeters, right? And I think probably
5.
Yeah, these are probably 5, but at least
Yeah.
7 is what you would need for any type of rebounding action.
Yep.
So yeah, why don't we just throw these away today?
Perfect.
What do we got next?
Oh man, I got some baby wipes.
There you go. Those are always good.
Yep. Used baby wipes. I got a couple belts. Let's roll through belts. So I have this soft belt. It's actually pretty cool, from Brian Shaw. And I use this for strongman in particular. So there's a lot of events where you're putting something on your torso, so like Atlas stones or an axle or a log, where it's rolling up your body. And if you have a hard belt on, so I also have this hard belt here, it pinches your skin in between the belt and the heavy weight that you're using.
Blood blisters.
And you get blood blisters. It hurts a lot. So the soft belt, you still get that feeling of support, but you don't pinch your skin. Neither one is going to protect your back, right? So belts don't protect your back. What they do is the exact same thing as the knee sleeves. You get that external feedback of how much pressure you're exerting, and it feels secure, and you have something pressing back against you, and you might actually increase how hard your muscles are working because of the belt. But it's not a safety thing. You can probably move the exact same way with a belt as you can without a belt. And so it's really just that feeling of security and the performance improvement that comes with it.
Right. I mean, could there be an adverse effect, Nate? Like if you were kind of not ready to be using a belt, not ready to be lifting the load, and because it allows you to maybe lift more than you're conditioned to, is there any chance that it could?
Potentially. So I think you have to learn to use a belt though,
Right.
so it takes a little bit of time and you can adapt. So when I used to deadlift as close to naked as I could, way back in the day, no belt, no shoes.
Deadlifting naked.
Not completely naked, don't do that. And when I first started using my lever belt here, my deadlift actually went down about 20 pounds. It wasn't comfortable. I couldn't figure out how to brace into it. And then once I figured it out, my deadlift went up past where it was. But it's a skill. It's a skill to learn with it, and it can improve performance if you're competing in a sport where that performance matters. If you're just trying to be healthy, you probably don't need a belt.
Yeah. And whenever I come back after not lifting for a while, I don't use my belt until I've maybe got a couple weeks of lifting back under my belt. And then I'll add the belt in, but only typically above 80 or 85% of my max, because below that I just don't need it.
And there's no real hard rule on what weight you should start wearing a belt at. Just whenever you feel like, hey, this is getting pretty heavy, if you want to improve performance, throw it on.
What do you got next?
Got some elbow sleeves. So I have a few different types of these. These are a little more aggressive than my other pair. And again, you just like the knee sleeves, they go around your elbow and it squidges down in your elbow, feels really good, and theoretically it makes me feel as if I can press more, so I can press more. Yeah, that's basically it.
Lifting straps. Most CrossFitters probably don't use these too much because they typically aren't allowed in competition, or, you know, I've even heard some CrossFit coaches talk about grip strength and everything else. Well, I like them because when I go to deadlift, I want to lift as heavy as possible, and I don't want my grip to be the limiting factor. So lifting straps can be a great tool for increasing the load to which you can lift without worrying about those weak-ass hands.
Yeah, what's also interesting is that a lot of actual Olympic weightlifters use them because there's only so much hook grip you can do before like your skin tears or your thumb starts to feel like you hit it with a hammer. And so if you need to get more skill work in without using the hook grip because you can't do more hook grip, they'll strap up. And we just don't in CrossFit necessarily. So it's, you know, it's a tool to be used to enhance other things. It does take away from the actual grip development potentially, but you can train your grip separately.
What's next?
I got some lifting straps too. These are a little different. So you kind of put the bar in here and it sits right there. So more strongman style. My knee sleeves, a little bit thicker than Dane's.
A lot thicker than Dane's.
Yeah, 7mm.
I've got wrist wraps. I like them for almost any pressing movement. I mean, even to the point of maybe doing burpees. I just like the support. Again, it's not about really doing anything in particular, but I love the way it feels when I'm pressing to have that extra like tension around my wrists. I don't really like the Velcro ones. I don't feel like, I don't know, they're almost too bulky. So I like using the longer wrap kind, just because I can adjust the tightness on the fly, and yeah, they're comfortable.
And there are, so these like fabric wrist wraps probably don't, again, they're probably not protecting anything. There are wrist wraps you can get more for like powerlifting, for bench press, that are thick enough and big enough that you limit the wrist movement. And then if your wrists are weak and you don't want them to pull back or forward, that will protect, right? Like in quotes, protect. It'll make your wrists more stable for the actual movement, basically.
Ooh, let's talk about this one.
Ooh.
What is that?
It's a Voodoo Band.
Voodoo Floss Band.
Yeah.
You know, it even says Mobility Watt on there, so thanks, Kelly. Really, again, back to, I don't know, you could maybe equate this to like dry needling, massage, Theragun, lacrosse ball, foam rolling. If you've got a place where it's bothering you, you know, it was highlighted, wrap it really tightly, move that joint like an elbow or a knee, and then all of a sudden you take it off, and with some amount of voodoo, it feels better. But
yeah.
Again, it's just more or less like a noxious stimulus, something that kind of irritates the area, gets your brain to start thinking about something differently, and then you take it away, and all of a sudden that kind of discomfort that you had previously is gone. It doesn't make any change. It's, you know, I don't even use it. I haven't used it for probably 2 years.
Yeah, it doesn't bust up adhesions. It doesn't improve blood flow. It just like it hurts a little bit, and then things hurt less when you take it off. I got a whole bunch of various bands for warming up for strongman comps. There's usually pretty limited potential to warm up at strongman comps, so just having something with a little bit of resistance that I can use is nice. Got anywhere from thin one for the shoulders to real thick one for like good mornings. Got my Monster Walk band, always.
PlatinumBand.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got. Oh yeah, you what?
Got some rock climbing shoes. When you're pulling trucks, or you're trying to do something where you have to push on a surface, so like my feet are on asphalt, what I'll usually find is that I'm limited by the amount of friction with my feet to the surface, and so rock climbing shoes make me stick to the ground better, and I can move a lot more weight when I'm like pushing a sled or a car or something.
Yeah. Lifting shoes, there's no right or wrong here, really. I prefer to lift without them, but if I'm going to Olympic lift, oftentimes I want to be in the best position possible, so I put them on for my cleans and my snatches. Overhead squats too, just because I probably lack mobility and you know, lack practice in areas that I should focus on, but to kind of compensate for that, I just wear shoes, give me a little bit more range of motion, easier to squat with, but I don't really like wearing them for squatting or anything else, just those kind of higher challenging mobility movements like the Olympic lifts.
Another pair of elbow sleeves. I have 2 pairs. I don't know why. Sometimes I put them both on at a competition. Don't tell the promoters.
Yeah.
It's technically not cheating if they didn't put it in the rules. I got knee wraps a little while ago. I thought they'd be interesting to try the blood flow restriction training and squatting, and I tried them once and hated them.
Hated it.
These are tight enough and reboundy enough that they should improve your squat once you learn how to use them, but just really, really, really uncomfortable to wear, so I don't like them. Probably not going to use them again.
I don't have anything else but a jump rope in my bag. If I'm going to go to a CrossFit gym and they're going to whip out double unders, I want to have my own rope. It's fit to my size. I'm used to the handles. I'm used to everything about it. So it just, again, consistency of the same movement over and over, same equipment over and over just allows me to, I guess, perform the best way possible. Is that it?
Got more wrist wraps. Got some, it's empty.
5-hour energy. A little pre-workout.
Ooh, yeah. Got my stone sleeves. So Atlas stones tear up your forearms, and when you lift them in a competition, usually you can use something called tacky, which is this bad boy right here, and it's basically like pine tar on steroids, and it just don't touch it. don't touch it. It doesn't come off. And so I put that on the stone sleeves, so I don't have to put it on my skin, and then I just mash them together in between comps so it can't get on anything else. Got some spray tack, which I put on my skin under the stone sleeves so the stone sleeves don't slip.
Getting deep into the bag now.
Into the bag. Jump rope for just funsies sometimes. I think that might be it.
I think that's
close
to it.
More
baby wipes.
Two Monster Walk bands.
Help you smell good.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I think the point here is like there's a lot of equipment out there. Really, none of it makes up for lack of consistency. You want to work out on a regular basis, be consistent, and then if you want to throw some other stuff in because it either A, feels good, or B, it's going to help increase performance, none of this is really a safety thing. So if you're looking to protect yourself in the gym, I would just say be more consistent going to the gym, be more consistent in terms of managing your abilities. Don't work out too far outside of your abilities. Yeah. And that's going to be the way to kind of limit your risk. These other things are just meant to feel good and maybe help with slight improvements in performance. So that's what's in our bag.
Yeet.